Well, good Saturday morning, everyone, and happy November. And this is Linda in Buffalo, New York. It's kind of a chilly Buffalo today, although next couple of days it's going to be in the 50s, which is normal for this time of year. And but on Monday and Tuesday it's supposed to be 70. So it's November. So that's how it goes in upstate New York in November. When I say upstate New York, people from other parts of the country think of New York City, and we are not up New York City. We are closer to Niagara Falls, and 20 minutes from Canada, actually. So, but November, November is also often referred to as a transitional month, because in the southern hemisphere, spring gives way to summer, and up here in the northern hemisphere, we say goodbye to fall because winter is coming. So November is really the changeable, but it's an exciting month because there's so much going on. It's really the start of the holiday season here in the U.S. too, as well as other parts of the world, I'm sure. But, today is November 2nd already. And, the cornerstone of American democracy is planted firmly in November's corner. So November 5th, I believe, is Tuesday, and that is Election Day. And it is so important. It's important every year, but presidential election every 4 years is very, very important. So do get out and vote. No matter what happens, just always remember God is in control. So, if your candidate does not win by any horrible reason, but just remember God, of course, is in control. But do you know why elections in this state are held in November? It comes down to the farmers not wanting to disturb the planting and growing season or even the harvest season. The month of November was chosen as the most logical month for everybody to be able to vote. Because you have to think, we were really an agrarian country, and so farming and the farmers work from sun up to sundown, planting and growing and then harvesting their crop. From spring to summer, and then at least in the northeast here, when the snow starts, sometimes it's hard to get out and about. So November is the perfect time. But we also have a plethora of special holidays in November, including Day of the Dead, which I believe was yesterday, and All Souls Day, Veterans Day, and, of course, Thanksgiving. So where did the word November come from? We've talked about every month. I try to have a little recap of what the coming month brings. And November, novum, is a Latin word for 9. But wait, isn't November the 11th month? But it was. But before January and February were added to the calendar, November was the 9th month. But instead of changing November to Unidecember or any, which was Latin for 11, they kept the name. There you have the most confusing of all November facts. But there's some other neat facts about November. The official flower for November is the chrysanthemum, meaning golden flower. The chrysanthemum represents honesty, joy, and optimism. And the official of November is the topaz. This yellow-orange gemstone is then to represent friendship. I have a topaz ring that I just love. And it's because of that yellow-orange color, I wear it a lot in the fall. But this is funny. The Greeks believed that topaz had the power to turn you invisible. That would be. I'll have to try that the next time I wear my topaz ring. I don't believe I've ever been invisible, but hey, you never know. So, well, good morning. I see somebody has joined us. Hello, hello. Is that you, Derek?
Yeah.
Hello. Hello, hello. Good. We're real good. We're just going over some fun November facts and trivia. So the November being the 11th month of the year, which means Christmas is coming. But in Finland, we talked about November, novem being the Latin word for 9. But in Finland, the word for November is Marraskuuta or something like that, Marraskuuta, meaning month of the dead. Now, this may sound ominous, but the reason for the name is because all the seasonal trees and plants lose their leaves or die, or it looks like they die in the month of November. Our oak trees are just shedding their leaves. We have, I have to get out and rake. Our yard is so full of leaves. So that is month of the dead. That sounds quite ominous. But now on November 1st, yesterday, the people of Mexico celebrate Day of the Dead. And it's believed that the souls of the deceased ones return on this day. But don't be scared. This day is for celebration with food, drinks, and music. Mm-hmm. So I don't know if anyone has celebrated Day of the Dead, but on yesterday. But that was the day for it. This is fun. There's 2 zodiac signs represented in the month of November in Sagittarius. Scorpios are born between November 1st and November 22nd and are known to be intense and imaginative. Sagittarians are born between November 23rd and November 30th and are known to be energetic and idealistic. I don't have any family members born in November. How about you, Derek? Are you a November-born person? No? Okay. And it's always a relief in November when the clocks turn back and we get an extra hour of sleep. But get your extra beauty sleep while you can, because there's a growing consensus that changing the clocks twice a year is not necessary and may be eliminated in the future. And again, that went back to farming reasons for that. So that would be interesting to see if they talk about it every year, but so far nobody has done anything about it. So November 3rd at 2 a.m. is the end of daylight savings time. So set your clocks back 1 hour tomorrow night or tonight, because it's already, yes. So set your clocks back 1 hour tonight at bedtime, or be late for church on Sunday. So either way, or would you be early? It's spring back, fall back, spring ahead, fall back. So you would be early. You would be an hour early for church if you don't set your clocks correctly. So, in the U.S., November is best known for Thanksgiving. Since 1621, the fourth Thursday in November has served as a holiday to gather with friends and family and give thanks for the blessings in our lives, and also eat incredible food reaped from all the fall harvest. That's 400 years of turkey. So look forward to that. Actually, I think we are going to have a big roast chicken instead of turkey this year because Ron doesn't really care for turkey, and so I'm going to do a chicken this year. And the day after Thanksgiving November 29th this year is known as Black Friday. And that was originally called that because that's when the ads for the Christmas season supposedly start, although I'm sure they're starting sooner. And then if the stores can get in the black, meaning that they can make a profit so they can stay in business, that's why it's called Black Friday. And, of course, there's all kinds of sales and things. One year we did get up. We lived near a mall, and so we got up like at 6 a.m., went to the special. You got all kinds of special things, and bought whatever it was that was on sale. And we were back in bed by 7:30 in the morning, feeling like we had gotten most of our Christmas shopping done. But that was the one and only time, and that was centuries ago. That was a long time ago that we did that. Now, November 11th is also a very important day because we remember the veterans who we've lost in past wars, and thank the military of today for protecting our country. In the U.S., November 11th is known as Veterans Day. In Britain, it's Armistice Day, and in Canada, Remembrance Day. So wear your poppy proud in November. I was in Canada last year in November, and I got the most beautiful poppies. My dad was in the VFW, the Veterans of Foreign Wars, and they always gave out poppies for your boutonniere or for your lapel. And I don't know, I just haven't seen anyone giving out poppies lately. But I do have the one. I have to find it because it was just such a special one. Finish off with a few cool November facts. 2 of the most popular toys were first released in November. The board game Monopoly was released in 1935, and the Easy Bake Oven was released in 1963, and I had an Easy Bake Oven. How funny. And I remember baking. In fact, we even have some photos, black and white photos of my first cake. I don't know if it was a gingerbread cake or what. And I made it with my Easy Bake Oven. And my dad ate it, the whole cake, in like 2 bites. I mean, it was tiny. And I just remember crying because he didn't share it. It was the whole cake he ate. But that's how tiny the cake was. But, of course, it's baked with a light bulb. So the Easy Bake Oven back in 1963. How funny. So, but those are some of the things that we have going on in November. Couple things. This is really the week in review. And we have had really such a fabulous week. A couple Saturdays ago, actually, was it last Saturday? It just seems like it's been a long time. We took part in a health and wellness expo that was hosted by a local radio station. And we had a table, and Beth Wyman, who is on our Blog Talk Radio shows on Wednesday. So every Wednesday from noon to 1 on the same station, Beth Wyman gives all kinds of, she's a registered dietitian, and she has so much knowledge, and she is so fact-based and science-backed. She just has such a wonderful way about her and the information that she gives us. And so she had shared our table at the expo, and she was interviewed online on the air from the radio station. And then this past Thursday, or Wednesday, my husband, Ron Clayton, who's the president of the Hope Collection that brings you the show, he was interviewed specifically on the radio to talk about the Hope Collection has partnered with Cambridge Credit Corporation, and so he got to talk about that and how Cambridge Credit can help you get out of debt. And what is wonderful about that is so many times, so many people have credit card debt with super, super high interest rates. I know we had ourselves. We had a couple bills that the interest rate just was so high. It didn't always start that way, but then if you ever miss a payment, or just automatically they raise over the time of a credit card, they will raise the rate. And they send you this little tiny thing in small print telling you that, but sometimes attached into your bill that you might not even realize your interest rate has grown huge. We had a bill that we did let get a little out of hand, and the interest, what we were paying was, I think, like 24% interest, and we kept paying it off, and we were just paying the interest. We weren't even touching the actual bill that we owed. And so with Cambridge, what they have helped us do is cut down the interest rate to 9% from 24%. And so now that when we pay the bill, we're paying the principal, not just the interest. And with a couple bills that we had, we've paid off about two of the 5 bills that we had completely. And the others, now we have actual $500 extra in our budget every month just by taking advantage of the program with Cambridge. So if you have any questions about that, I think it's available in the U.S. and Canada, and other countries, I'm sure, have similar programs. So check that out. But Cambridge has really been the company that we vetted and that we really promote through the Hope Collection. And so we'll get some information about this on our Facebook page, too. So this is the My Life radio show, I should have said that at the beginning, brought to you by the Hope Collection. And the Hope Collection is a 501c3 nonprofit organization. And we're about 10 years old, started by Joel Griffin, Dr. Joel Griffin, who passed away a couple of years ago. But we have continued the program and just bringing, we have a wonderful board, and there's so many different aspects. The Hope Collection, think of it as an umbrella and a way of connecting. We connect with different organizations, and just one of the organizations that we connect with is the Golden Rule Society. And on Fridays, Ron Clayton, my husband Ron Clayton, who is the president of the Hope Collection, he hosts Captain Len Kane, who is the founder of the Golden Rule Society, and they've been active for 52 years. And Captain Kane is just amazing on his own. He is the original Top Gun. Top Gun is a naval pilot competition, and much like the Tom Cruise movie Top Gun, but Captain Len is the real thing, one of the first, and he's the first U.S. East Coast and West Coast Top Gun, and he then became, after he retired from the Navy as an admiral, by the way. He became a pilot for Southwest Airlines, and he has since retired, of course. But he has been nominated 5 times for a Nobel Peace Prize for the work that he's done in the Golden Rule Society. So that's just one of the organizations that that's under our umbrella, as it were, that we work with. So that's so many wonderful people, and we may not know all the answers to any questions, but we can hopefully get you in touch with somebody who can help. Mary Stanley, who is our guru for technology, she has done so much for the Hope Collection, but she works with neurodiversity children and adults, and she has such knowledge and experience in that field. And then, of course, there's Beth Wyman. On Tuesdays, Ron and Rick Reese talk about Travel Tuesday. And they talk about the lifestyle and the business of travel, and of course the fun of travel. One of the slogans is healing a nation through vacation. Sometimes just planning a vacation, it just and then just going away, just getting out of the regular routine that you find yourself in sometimes. It's really nice just to get away. We really highly recommend a change of scenery, and it doesn't have to be far. This summer, my husband and I and his sister and her husband, we just drove 4 hours up to the Thousand Islands, which is in the St. Lawrence River between the United States and Canada. And it's just a magical place. There's castles, and there's boats, and there's just a wonderful time. A town with all little shops. There's a antique boat museum up there, and just there's all kinds of things to do, and all kinds of new fun things to eat and try. So, but again, it was just 4 hours away, and just 4 days. But it felt like we were in another world. Sometimes it's just just stepping out a little, going someplace brand new. In next spring, we're putting together a group cruise out of, where are we leaving? Out of Port Canaveral, Florida, near Orlando. And then we're setting sail down to Grand Turk, which is an island in the Eastern Caribbean that we have not been to before. So we're going to Grand Turk and, what is the name of the place? There's an island off of the Dominican Republic, Amber Cove. So we'll spend a day in Amber Cove, which is an island and a resort that Carnival Cruise Line has put together. So it's a special place just for Carnival Cruise Line guests, and it's off the coast of the Dominican Republic. And so we've been to, and other times, been to Punta Cana in the Dominican Republic, which is just lovely. And so sometimes it's just that little getaway. And don't forget, in November and December, January, and February, especially February up here in the north, is kind of one of the worst weather. It's a short month, luckily, but it's it's one of the snowiest months up here. So sometimes, just even if it's the next town over, just try to do something, just to have a little weekend getaway. Sometimes, we've done that, and just we've gone up to Niagara Falls, and just just to have a little getaway. We're about, I don't know, 20 some minutes from Niagara Falls ourselves, but I'm sure wherever you live, there's something close by, but can really be something special. Well, with that, I'm going to wrap up the show for today. It's kind of our half hour here, and have a wonderful, wonderful day. Don't forget November. It may be a chilly month, or if you're in the Southern Hemisphere, it may be, you're just getting into the wonderful weather. But in either case, it's really kind of the start of the holidays, and so you can start preparing for Christmas and Thanksgiving and all of the family times that that those holidays bring. So with that, I'll wish you a wonderful day, and we'll talk to you next Saturday for our weekend review. But don't forget, Monday through Friday from noon to 1 Eastern Time. Just call-in number is 714-816-4686. 714-816-4686. Hope to hear you on some of the calls this week. Bye-bye.